In a small village surrounded by thick green forests and wide flowing rivers lived a woman named Amina. Amina was known for her kindness and her warm smile that could light up even the darkest day. She was married to a man named Kofi, who was strong and well respected in the village. They had been married for many years, and everyone said they were a happy couple. Best friend was Ajoa, a woman with a joyful laugh and a talent for weaving the finest cloth in the village. The three of them had grown up together, and their friendship was as strong as the old baobab tree in the center of the village. Whenever Amina had free time, she would go to Ajoa's house to chat, weave, and share stories from their childhood. One hot afternoon, after a long day in the fields, Amina returned home to find Kofi sitting under the shade of a mango tree. His face was serious, and his eyes looked distant. Amina felt a chill run down her spine. She had never seen Kofi look so troubled. She sat down next to him and waited for him to speak. Amina's heart sank, and she looked down at her hands. In their village, it was not uncommon for men to marry more than one wife, but she never imagined that Kofi, her Kofi, would want another woman. Amina's eyes widened in shock. Ajoa was her dearest friend, the woman she trusted like a sister. She felt her heart break into 1,000 pieces. "Why Ajoa?" Amina asked, trying to keep her voice steady. Kofi looked away, embarrassed. "She is kind, beautiful, and hardworking. I believe she will bring happiness to our home." Amina said nothing. She just nodded and stood up slowly, her legs feeling weak. She walked back into the house, leaving Kofi under the mango tree. That night she couldn't sleep. Her thoughts were heavy, and tears fell silently down her cheeks. She loved Kofi, but she also loved Ajoa as a friend. She didn't know. The next morning, Amina decided to visit Ajoa. She needed to hear the truth from her friend. When she arrived at Ajoa's house, she found her busy weaving a colorful cloth. Amina took a deep breath and sat down beside her. Ajoa's hands froze, and she looked at Amina with wide, surprised eyes. "What? Marry me? He never said anything to me." Amina felt a wave of relief, but also confusion. "He told me yesterday. He says he has been thinking about it for a long time." Ajoa shook her head. "I never gave him any reason to think that I would be his wife. You are my sister, Amina. I would never betray you like that." Amina's heart felt a little lighter, but the problem was not solved. Kofi was determined, and Amina knew she had to make a decision. She returned home and spent the next few days thinking, praying, and listening to the wisdom of the village elders. One evening, she gathered her courage and went to speak with Kofi. He was sitting by the fire. Kofi looked surprised. He had expected Amina to accept his wish without protest, as many other wives in the village had done. But Amina continued. "I am your wife," she said, "and I have been with you through the hardest times. If you bring Ajoa into our home, I will leave, for I cannot live with such pain. I will not stay and watch you share your heart with another." Kofi's eyes filled with tears. He had never seen Amina so strong and so sure. He realized that he had been selfish and foolish, thinking only of his desires and not of the woman who had been by his side for so long. "I am sorry, Amina," Kofi said quietly. "I did not think about how much this would hurt you. You are my first love, and I do not want to lose you." Amina felt relief wash over her. She reached out and took Kofi's hand, and they sat together in silence, the fire crackling softly beside them. The next day, Amina went to see Ajoa and told her everything that had happened. Ajoa hugged her tightly, and they both cried with joy and relief. Their friendship had survived the storm, and their bond was stronger than ever. As for Ajoa, she remained Amina's closest friend, and she never felt any anger or resentment toward Kofi. In time, she found a kind man from a neighboring village who loved her dearly, and they were married under the shade of the same mango tree where Kofi had once sat, deep in thought. The village never forgot the story of Amina, Kofi, and Ajoa. It became a tale of wisdom passed down from mothers to daughters, a lesson about friendship, love, and the strength of a woman's heart.